time. Let's go to conservative cartoonist AF Branco. Thank you again for joining us out there on the West Coast today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Definitely. Before we get into the cartoons, for those that don't know, your cartoons made it to Rush Limbaugh's newsletters. I mean, you've been around for a minute and you're getting picked up all over the place. What's that like for you, just to say, hey, you know what? I'm able to use that creative outlet, but not just for fun, for our country as a whole.
I'm just very thankful for it, actually. I like to, that's what I like to do. I like to sit in my office/studio and come up with ideas and illustrations that mirror what I'm feeling about politics today. And I'm just very grateful to God that I have that talent that He's loaned me, and very fortunate to have people, keep, sharing them and talking about them and posting them. And very fortunate to Creator Syndicate, they're nationally syndicated me through the help of Larry Elder, who was very instrumental in getting me syndicated.
That's awesome. And so over the years, have any of the mainstream newspapers, and now mainly online, have they ever said, hey, we want you to work for us? Or has it been more like, oh, you're too real. You tell the truth too much over there, AF Branco?
Believe it or not, Fox News.
Okay.
They asked me, somebody over there asked me if I wanted to be their cartoonist, and I thought about it for a little bit. I thought it'd be maybe a pay raise or whatever, but I decided no, because I would be committed to their viewpoints, and they would, not allow me the freedom to draw what I wanted to draw. So I opted out of it, and so they got a syndication through creators, and they started posting my cartoons. Well, they did that for about a year, and eventually my cartoons became a little bit too stout for them. But I'm glad I didn't commit to them. I mean, I appreciate Fox News sometimes, and I'm just glad that I'm still a free agent syndicated through creators.
Yeah, with what, more than 250,000, or at least 250,000 followers on Truth Social. Are you on X, or are you just on Truth? Because I was looking for you on X.
I am on X, AF Branco.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
At AF Branco.
Okay, I looked
A
for
as
you
an
the other
apple,
day.
F as in Frank.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. I'll follow you.
Yeah,
I'll follow you
same
soon. I
here.
jumped back on X after maybe a little bit of a hiatus. I've been on Truth Social for 3 straight years. I love Truth. I always will. But
Yep.
having a presence on X is always good too. There's just a lot going on, of course, out there in the world. All right. So can you tell us, before we get into some of the cartoons, what year was it that you finally got on top of this thing and said, you know what, this is what I'm doing?
Well, it was kind of an accident. I started out just I was laid off from my job, and I just started getting back into drawing because I've always been somewhat of an illustrator, and I just got back into it and started posting them on Facebook. At that time, Facebook and Twitter and social media just started coming around, and that was like 2010. And it isn't what it is today. There wasn't a lot of memes out there, and I was one of the few cartoonists that started putting my cartoons up there. And it started out at, I got 10 or 15 followers, then it went to 20, then 100, then 1,000, and a few thousand pretty fast. And then people started coming to me wanting me to draw cartoons for them on some of the conservative sites and papers and newsletters and that. So it's kind of developed from there.
What was your interaction with the late great Rush Limbaugh? Did his team just reach out to you and say, we want to put your stuff in our newsletters?
No, they didn't reach out to me at all. I just somebody let me know through social media that my cartoon was in the Rush Limbaugh newsletter, and I said, really? Because at that time I received the Rush Limbaugh letter, and I hadn't received mine yet. So I ran out to the mailbox, and it was there, and I opened it up, and there was my cartoons in there, a couple of them. And then every month after that, they would appear. So I was very grateful for that. It was a kind of a high point in my career.
I think every day that you put out one of these cartoons, let's take a look at the first one. is a highlight of your career because you're really helping paint the picture, no pun intended. Let's talk about Gavin Newsom and this one where he says, the White House 2028, here I come. Hopefully your drawing is inaccurate, but talk to us about it.
Well, it has, of course, you see South or San Francisco, and it has like an atomic bomb explosion over it, and then it has L.A. with an atomic bomb explosion over it, and then California overall has an explosion over it, and then off to the right of it, it says USA, which is blank, and he's saying, "What White House 2028? Here I come." And what I'm trying to illustrate here is that he's been a total disaster for California. The fires, he hasn't treated the forest very well, and then he blames the climate change, and then he doesn't allow enough water to get down to LA, and he blames climate change. When all this is policies that they've put forth, and I'm trying to illustrate that. A lot of people know he's been a disaster, but for some reason, to a lot of voters in California, the word hasn't gotten out yet.
Yeah, I mean it's awful to see the things that he stands for. Is snakery even a word? He's got the snake kind of like that's him, and it's awful.
Car salesman. I mean, a
Yeah,
sleazy car salesman.
exactly.
I'm not putting down car salesman at all because at one time in my life, I sold cars for a little while.
Yeah.
And there's good ones and there's bad ones. But he represents the very sleazy car salesman that you've heard about. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my interpretation.
He's the one that sells you a lemon, right? He's not selling you anything good. And that's the thing. I was talking with, I think it was Kara Davis. She's written some articles in the New York Post and other places, and a great conservative journalist. And we were just talking about the difference between what our country is and what the Constitution is and all the things that we like on the right side of history is like platinum and gold and silver and rubies. It's beautiful. It's diamonds, right? But guys like Gavin Newsom, it's a bunch of sewer water. You know, and that's what they're trying to bring to the people and say, hey guys, this is good stuff. And it's like, what?
Yeah, they're selling us a bill of goods, and what it is he's trying to sell for the people type of material, and what it's all about is his power, and that's the only thing he really cares about. And it's not surprising he's related to Pelosi. So
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to the second cartoon where we see fanning the flames. This one here with the Democrat media, which is most of the mainstream media, 95%, maybe more. And this is a little bit, from a few weeks ago, I believe. But still, though, isn't that the truth, that they're just fanning the flame of the left-wing violence through all the names? Can you just talk to us more about that and why you made this cartoon?
well, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're using the radical part of their party to perpetuate a message, I guess, to put fear in people, as far as I can tell. But it just seems like their message. I don't see them disavow any of the stuff they're saying. Maybe they kind of do, a little just to kind of make it sound good, but no major Democrat politician is coming out and denouncing any of this. So that tells me that they're pretty much promoting it. And some of them are outright promoting it, telling them to get to the streets and go after, get in their face. And we've seen the clips. We know exactly how they're perpetuating this. So
Yeah, so I mean, they have the megaphone for the extreme left, Marxist, communist, socialist, people that are just anti-God, family, country, freedom. Isn't it interesting, sir, like for you in the political cartoon world and for us here at Right Side and everybody in conservative media, what are we fanning? We're fanning God, family, country, freedom, right? That's where we're coming from, and they're just fanning the complete opposite. Isn't that right?
exactly, you can see by how they framed Charlie Kirk. So many people were celebrating his death when all he was advocating is for a discussion, debate, and talking back and forth. If you're not talking, you're shooting, or that's where violence comes from. So he was pushing, promoting debate, and Democrats really don't. It's not just Democrats; it's the whole left side. They don't want to debate. They just want to shut down debate, and you accept what they say, or we're going to ostracize you. We're going to give you removed from social media. You're going to lose your job if you don't agree with us. And now it's gotten to the point where we're going to shoot you, and then we're going to celebrate your death.
It's awful. It's awful. And you think about
Yeah.
what we were just talking about, truth versus lies, freedom versus tyranny. And no wonder, on the left side of history, when it comes to mainstream media, they have the huge megaphone, they have the Democrats, and they've been running the show for a long time. Well, now we're going against that system, as you see, and as you've been doing. And no wonder they want to censor or stop any of that truth from just getting out. The telling it like it is. Sir, isn't that what you want to hear as a citizen of this country? People that are in conservative media and in podcasts and your cartoons, we just want to tell it like it is, just like we the people are talking out there on the streets.
And that's why people are gravitating to the alternative media, like yourself, and social media, because the podcast, the conservative podcast, they don't trust the mainstream media anymore. They've been lying to them, still lying to them, and when anybody gets, finds the red pill, they realize that that's what their total propaganda. MSNBC or MS Now, much of CNN, and much of the left media is all about propagating something that isn't real. Where now we have an alternative, we can go to other media and find out what's truth and get into the weeds of what's really happening. Especially you see that with the Epstein file debacle, where Democrats are trying to attach Trump to the Epstein files, and that's kind of blowing up in their face.
And we're seeing like the conservative media on the side of we the people, and we the people on the side of conservative media, and we outnumber
Absolutely.
all. I mean, if you look at the past 3 elections, you can tell that we won all 3 of them. Of course, we know what happened in 2020, but the majority of the country is on the side of conservative media. But conservative media is probably about that versus mainstream media. But we're chipping away, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
how do you
absolutely.
think it's going out there for conservative media as they keep chipping away, whether it's right here at RSBN or other outlets or podcasts or whatever?
Well, I think majority of the country are finding other alternatives to the mainstream media, or they're looking at, or they're able to get into social media and find other viewpoints more so than ever. So it was always the big three, always monopolized the news, and they don't have that anymore. That probably started with Rush Limbaugh, and has just migrated into a lot more information for people to choose from. And I think it goes beyond what people are really looking for. I think it kind of goes into other areas where they're looking at where they may not be noticing it, but it's kind of subliminally getting into their heads. So that's a good thing.
Exactly. Let's talk about your book quickly before I let you go. You have a new book on the way. Can you tell us about it?
Well, yeah, friend of mine, Michael R. Morris and David S. Green, they put together this book with my help, and it has a lot of my cartoons in it. And it reads like "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," only it's Trump's night before Christmas. So it's a long poem, packed full of my illustrations, and just in time for Christmas.
That's awesome. So where can people get that?
Amazon.
Awesome.
Just put in Trump's night before Christmas and get an order.
Conservative cartoonist A.F. Branco. Thanks again for joining us on Right Side. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.